Rel here, and I'm back again with another review. This time for The Witcher Season 3, Part 1, coming to Netflix June 29th, this Thursday, June 29th. So, this is going to be Part 1 of 2, with Part 2 coming next month in July, with the remainder of the episodes. If you didn't already hear the news, if you didn't already know, Henry Cavill is going to be leaving the show after the third season. Um, and I think that after watching this, getting the opportunity to watch this early, it kind of stays in the back of your head, like, man, where does this show go? Having him kind of replaced, because he definitely brings a certain gravitas to the role that I don't know if you're going to be able to get with whoever they decide to replace. I want to say Liam Hemsworth was like the choice, but it's not confirmed. But it is confirmed that of course, Henry Cavill is going to be leaving the show. So as you're watching this, it's kind of like sort of bittersweet as you watch episode to episode. Like, man, this is really good, but this is my actor. I don't know about you guys, but when a certain actor leaves the show, depending on what the story is for the character, especially when it's a main character. Now, in this particular case, I know they're just replacing him, not like writing him off the show, because you can't take Geralt of Rivia off of the show, because majority of this is focused around him. But it sucks. It's hard to do a review on this and not address the fact that thinking about that while you're watching this kind of does affect is this even worth watching for you. It's the third season, not the last season show, but the third season. Is it even worth watching if Henry Cavill is not going to be in the show? And I'm here to say that season 3, part 1 is good. I really like this. I think going into this show, obviously I had a lot of expectations. Playing the video game, Witcher 2 and 3 on Xbox and PlayStation, and following a lot of that story of what I know of The Witcher. Through this, so I had a lot of expectations about what I wanted to see. What I wanted certain characters to look like, what I wanted the world to look like, and obviously we're not going to get everything, but I'm happy with what I got so far. But if you guys remember, season 2, we kind of leave off with Ciri training, her kind of wanting to feel a little bit more powerful in the second season. She starts training at the keep with the other Witchers, and everybody's trying to exploit her power at this point. And she even goes as far as try to become a Witcher, if you haven't seen season 2. But we see where that goes. All while thinking that Yennefer was dead, and a whole bunch of other stuff that was happening throughout that season. But we kind of leave off with that second season and coming into this one with them on the run, and that's not necessarily on the run, but trying to keep it moving, because everybody is pretty much trying to get serious, because she's the key to pretty much everything that the key to pretty much everything. She's the key to making new Witcher. She's the key to so many other things that I want to tell you guys about, but you got to watch the show. If anybody that's read Witcher, we get a lot of the content from the book. So if you're following this from the game, you're kind of gonna be lost, because this really does not touch any of that stuff at all. But yeah, like I said, we get a lot of the characters on the run. We get a lot of like familiar faces that we see throughout the show. Like I said, this is not a spoiler, but we get Robbie Amell, who is Stephen Amell's brother. He's in the show. I think he pops in at the end of the last season, if I'm not mistaken. So we definitely get him. That's already been confirmed. One of the things I really like about this season, and I'm not sure if they did or they didn't, how much of this is green screen or what, but the locations look amazing. A lot of the locations of this show look really, really good. I really enjoyed, like, just some of the pan shots of like them just kind of like walking through the mountains, and like some of the forests and stuff like that. It looks good. I couldn't, if they weren't there, this is some of the best CG that I've seen. And I think we could put the argument to rest right now that there's nothing to watch on Netflix, because this is absolutely killing it in terms of like, what is there to watch on TV. I mean, Netflix got something every week, so if you can't find something to watch, then you just don't feel like watching TV. Pick up a book. I don't know what to tell you. But like I said, the locations look absolutely amazing for this show. I really did like the way they looked. A lot of the locations that I'm familiar with from the game, get picked up. Certain castles, certain caves that we go to. Not going to spoil that, but it definitely looks really good. Like I'm saying earlier, like just kind of watching it, knowing that he's leaving does give, I think, a little bit more impact to the season. Because I mean, Henry Cavill absolutely kills it here. I mean, if you watch some of Superman, I don't even think you even think about Superman as you're watching him play Geralt of Rivia. I think he definitely embodies that character like 100%, and you're not thinking about anything else. We see a little bit of a trio here. As you know from the games, you get a choice. They give you choices to pick between Trish and Yennefer, who you can pick in the game. I remember picking Trish because at that time I had a bit of a thing for redheads in video games, so I always went for the redheads. But and this, I mean, the story's pretty locked in, so we get a bit of a little bit of a triangle here with Yennefer and Trish. Not too, I guess a little bit. Geralt is still pretty much locked in on Yennefer after thinking she was dead for majority of the second season. But we get to see a little bit more of the relationships here. Yennefer building back the trust that she lost with Geralt after the events of season 2, which if you've seen that, she tried to kill Ciri. I mean, Geralt is not easily one to forgive. But we see them kind of try to build back that trust level and get themselves back to where they were from the beginning. Look, I mean, one of the things, I mean, again, Witcher 3, the Wild Hunt, one of the things I thought that they weren't going to even touch in this was the Wild Hunt, the Wild Hunt itself. And this season definitely tackles the subject. And you get to see a lot more than I thought I was going to see through the season. But yeah, like I said, if you play any of that game, if you were expecting the Wild Hunt, this is your season. One of the things I definitely like about season 3 so far is that we see, 6 months of training. We see Ciri kind of like really hold her own. After being like the damsel in distress, like the spoiled princess, you really get to see her really decide like, hey, I really want to defend myself. I really want to take control. And she really has a lot of great moments throughout the first part of the season. If anything, she's definitely one of my favorite characters in the show as she continues to become more powerful. And again, if you want to reference back into the game, Freya Allen, I really didn't like her at first. I just didn't think she like really. I just thought she was a little small for the character when I initially saw her, but again, she was supposed to be younger. She really kind of, like I say, really comes into the character a lot more in this season. I really see her, if they decided to do kind of like a spinoff or something like that with her kind of being on her own, I could believe that, kind of being away from Geralt for a while. But I think this season obviously deals with her, still needing to have that father figure in her life, which is Geralt, and have a parent, Yennefer, and whoever else comes into her life. They're looking for something. Yennefer and Geralt are looking for something, through her. So we see a lot of them try to find something in this relationship that they kind of didn't know they wanted, or they did know they want. But like I said, Trish comes back in this season, which I didn't think she was going to, really show her face at all after season 2. But she does make a appearance back in this. I gotta say, a lot of the monsters in this, because we can't have Witcher without hunting down monsters. A lot of the monsters in this look really, really good. Again, shout out to the CGI department. As far as I've seen, I didn't have any complaints with how any of the creatures looked. I really want to see some drowners, though. That's one of the things I can say that I haven't seen so far in the show. I really wanted to see some drowners. I really wanted to see a lot of like more of the classic monsters that we get in the game, but I guess that just wasn't in the budget. But like I said, the monsters that we do get, they look really, really good. The fights in this are really, really good. The use of magic is really cool. Um, the way they explain how the rules of magic work in this show, it's pretty not ridiculous. But like I said, I mean, like they do a really good job, with the CGI, the monsters and stuff like that, and then the fights and, the training montages and everything look really, really good in this show. Like I said, I don't know if we needed to do this in a part one, part two, but Netflix, I get what you're doing. I understand, so I'm not mad. Um, but I just wanted to say a couple things on the cast. Like I said, Henry Cavill playing Geralt of Rivia once again. Definitely gonna miss him. Obviously once part two comes around, I'll do a review on that as well. But it's tough to see how they transition it, or if they even address it at all. Just it's like I said, it's tough to really get into that and see where that goes. Want to make sure I get the name right. Anya Klatra, who plays Yennefer. Once again, another actress that I didn't really see playing that role, but as it goes on, I'm like, okay, she's killing this. I could definitely buy her as Yennefer of Edinburgh. Um, but she does a really good job. I think her and Geralt have some pretty decent chemistry. They're not there enough for it to really develop as much as I would like, but I think they have some decent chemistry in the scenes they're in. But I'm happy with what I've gotten so far. So take what I can get. Like I said, Freya Allen playing Ciri. I would hope to see her do more. She, young actress, hope she's getting a really good start. This is a really good place to start. I mean, if Henry Cavill is not going to be the face of the show anymore, then of course, Ciri should be, because a lot of the stuff going forward is going to be focused in on her. And then, like I said, I mean, we definitely get a lot of our main characters, and so I make sure I get everybody's name right. Mayana Boring, who plays Tasea, she's one of the mages on the council. Now, I think her role in this is definitely expanded. She has they hit a little bit more behind her than we think. Is trusting. She's the mother to all of the mages, the witches, or whatever sorcerers they want to call them here. But she does a pretty good job. Anna Schaefer, who plays Trish, again, not who I imagine Trish would look like in the show, but she definitely comes in and does more than I expected. I wish they would use her a little bit more in the show, but I think that's my only complaint, is that there's more of a relationship there between her and Geralt that we kind of don't see, and I guess the show just doesn't have the time to talk about. I guess if you got a novel, or if you got play the games, you get a little bit more context to what that relationship is, but you don't get it here, unfortunately. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight those actors, and they said they're definitely a big part of this season. And like I said, they definitely brought a lot more third season than what I expected. But so far, season 3, part 1, pretty good. I liked every episode so far. Nothing felt too boring to me. It was a really good flow. But I think that about the entire season so far. It's a really good pace. Nothing that I felt like, oh man, this is But they keep a really good pace throughout the show, and I'm really happy to say that. But like I said, Witcher season 3 part 1 coming Thursday, June 29th. Make sure you tune in and watch it. It's definitely worth the watch. Terrell said it here. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comments below. This first 5 episodes of the show, how you feeling about Henry Cavill leaving, how you feel about the content so far as a Witcher fan. Anything you want to talk about as far as like this particular season goes, just leave me a comment and I'll definitely reply to you guys. Love to interact, a little bit more in the comments. Let me know. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time for part 2, and let me know what you think of this one. See you later.